כל השנה הלכות בכל יום מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא, בעזרת השם. Today is Gimel Tishri, the third day of the month of Tishri. We'll be learning two mitzvot B'ezrat Hashem with the new zest, Baruch Hashem. We learned already, even though we learned on Friday, the two mitzvot for yesterday, which just it's good to mention yesterday's mitzvot. Yesterday we had the mitzvah number 1, Pru Urvu. We're obligated to have children, B'ezrat Hashem. Mitzvah number 2 was Brit Milah, as we did with B'ezrat Hashem. That was on Sunday. However, now it's Monday, the third day of the week of Parashat Shabbat HaAzinu and Parashat Shuvah. B'ezrat Hashem, as we are encouraging people to take something on yourself, as we know that the whole point is that Kadosh Baruch Hu wants us to see that we are trying to change ourselves, not just old, same old, same old. So the two mitzvah today we'll be learning, B'ezrat Hashem, mitzvah number 3, mitzvah of Gid An Hashem, okay, which means one of the veins of animals, the kosher animals that are allowed to be eaten. It doesn't have to be domesticated. Even a chaya, like a tzvi and giraffe, all those big animals also have Gid An Hashem that has to be taken off. We'll learn right now. And mitzvah number 4, B'ezrat Hashem, we must sanctify a new chodesh, as it says, a chodesh hazeh yeh lachem rosh chodashim. Okay, B'ezrat Hashem, the mitzvot are sponsored, L'ilui Nishmat, Aaron ben Moshe. V'gam, father? What's your father's name? Yechia ben Abraham. That's Nishmat, yeah? So you said you had somebody in Nishmat. Was your grandfather?
Rachel bat Bela.
Rachel Bela. No, you gave me a name also. Rachel bat Bela, but you gave me a name.
Machluf ben Rafael HaKohen.
Machluf ben Rafael HaKohen. Okay, who is that?
My father-in-law.
Oh, your father-in-law. I heard his name once in Yerushalayim. You know that they do every Friday. You gave it today once? I heard his name. Somebody gave his name there. It was at the time in his side. Anyway, so B'ezrat Hashem גם להבדיל לחיים רפואה שלמה לכל חולי עמו ישראל יעקב בן רחל, יחיאל בן עמרם, אברהם, חיה בת לאה, יוסף חיים בן מפרת, יעקב ישראל, דניאל בן אנג'לה. רפואה שלמה. Alright. וישלח יעקב, יש also the Parshat וישלח, the rabbi says it has one mitzvah, which is what? He Azarat Gid An Hashem, which was a warning of Gid An Hashem. It says in the Torah, Arken lo yuchlu bnei Israel et Gid An Hashem. It says clearly, the Jewish people won't, but the language is Alken. So we'll discuss. The Chinuch is going to have this question. What does this mean? Therefore. What is Alken? Therefore, the Jewish people will not eat other than Hashem. What's the connection? What is that language? V'hai lo yuchlu lo ne'emar al derech sipur. It doesn't come to you as telling you as like a storyline. Why the Jewish people? Don't think for a second, Chas v'Shalom, because our father Yaakov Avinu was hit in a tie, and therefore the Jewish people don't eat Hashem. No. That's what Hashem commanded. Hashem commanded the Jewish people don't eat Gid An Hashem, but don't think it's because of the story what happened with Esav's angel. כדי שיהיה רמז לישראל שאף על פי שיסבלו צרות רבות בגלות מיד העמים ומיד בני עשיו. The whole point that the rabbi says over here, that the hint over here is the foundation of this mitzvah is that it's like a warning, it's like a sign for the Jewish nation that even though the Jewish nation will come heavily under the attack by the goyim and even heavily attacked by the Esav, שיהיו בטוחים שלא יאבדו. You have to know, you have to trust in Hashem that our nation will not be destroyed. Ela leolam ya'amod zaram ushmam. Forever you should know and you should believe it and live it, that the nation of Am Yisrael will not be destroyed completely. Uva lahem goel v'galem yatzar. And you have to know that any second that Hashem could send a messenger and to redeem them from any suffering. ובזכרם תמיד תמיד עניין זה על יד מצווה תהיה לזיכרון. But the thing is that we have this mitzvah which is cultivated together with this whole story of Yaakov Avinu is to teach you that it has to be in that aspect, because we're constantly going to be busy with this mitzvah because Jews always eat. We just now, what's the hardest I eat? Believe it or not, the hardest I eat is today. Why is it today the hardest Tanit? Because you ate 2 days. Erev Yom Kippur you only eat just during the day. So you ate 7 meals. Big deal. You ate 7 meals. No, who eats 7 meals already? I know how I do it. I make sandwiches. I make small sandwiches, about 54 grams bread, two slices, and I eat. I eat every hour and a half. So I make 7 seudat Erev Yom Tov, Erev Yom Kippur. Right? That's Ben Shabbos. But again, that's only half a day, whatever it is, during the day, morning. That's not the same as what we did on Rosh Hashanah. What happened on Rosh Hashanah? You eat Friday night. Then you eat Shabbos morning. Then you eat Shabbos afternoon. Shabbos Sunday night. Your body is used to eating. And it's the worst thing. The worst thing in the world is after Ta'azeh, right away going to Tani. Right? So mitzvah she ate is garon. But so what? How did we start? What did we jump into this? So he says like this, right? So you might have what? The Kadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us through this. You're gonna have a lot of tzarot with the goyim, right? You're gonna have tzarot with goyim, but it's not because Yaakov Avinu was hit on the Gidan Hashem, right? It's not because of Gidan Hashem. It's because Kadosh Baruch Hu he had a mitzvah for us to stay away from Gidan Hashem, but that's what we started because we like to eat a lot. So what happened was, right? So we're always going to be contemplating is Gidan Hashem taken off. Vice versa, Ashkenazim, they have a big problem. Ashkenazim today, they don't eat the tail of anything. They have a rule is back of the cow, they take off completely because of the issue of Gidan Hashem. They cut off the animal like from the leg, maybe another like a couple of tvachim, and the whole thing in the back is gone.
Like in Morocco.
Oh, are Morocco also like that?
Morocco, because we don't have people that
know how to. They don't know how to take out the Gidan Hashem. Very easy. It's very easy to take it out, especially when after you do shechita, right away to take it out. You're supposed to take it out right away because the animal is still hot. Because the animal is still hot, it's very easy to yank it. By Sfaradim, we know it very much, and by Sfaradim, we constantly busy with it. Baruch Hashem, by Sfaradim, we are allowed to eat tails and we are allowed to eat thighs. There's a lot of things because they know how to yank out the Gidan Hashem. So again, so since we're going to be constantly busy with this mitzvah, it's going to constantly remind us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always watching over us, even though they're going planning to harm us and they're going to harm us in the beginning, but then in the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is shlach goel. Now, it is le'olam. And people have to know that never give up. Even the goy is going to try to harm us, never give up what the mitzvah is. The mitzvah is to do certain things. Put on tefillin in the morning, learn Torah, nothing. The whole world could go fly kaikar. They could try to burn the whole world with those satellites, whatever they're burning right now with lasers. They don't care. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. We know שבא בקבלה שהיה שרו של עשיו. The hint over here is that we have to know that the angel that we know that we have a Kabbalah, we have a passing through our fathers, that the angel that fought with Yaakov Avinu went over there, the angel of Esav, רצה לעוקרו ליעקב מן העולם הוא וזרעו ולא יאכלו לו. The whole point was the angel wanted to kill Yaakov Avinu and his entire lineage and his entire generations, but he couldn't. And then he hit him in a thigh to cause him sar. And that's how constantly the children of Esav, which is what? The Christians. All the Christians today are Esav's children, so they're constantly causing us harm. Constantly harm. And like recently also now, with all these sicknesses and all these things, that wherever the strong Esav has a stronghold, that's where people were suffering the most. And in the end, because through them, we're going to have Yeshua. Right? So, what happened in the end? HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent out the sun and healed Yaakov Avinu. Healed him, right? And then he was saved from the suffering. So in the end, we will be redeemed, just like Yaakov Avinu. Hashem sent out the sun to heal him from the striking of Esav's angel. So too, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to send us Mashiach Tzidkenu that will redeem us from all the suffering of Ishmaelim, Esav, everybody together. So now there's a lot of rules, a lot of discussion here. The Rabbi is pointing out some that what is exactly Asur? Where is this Gidan Hashem? So there is few aspects of Gidan Hashem. There's like 3 of them, 3 types. There is a Gidan Hashem that goes behind the thigh of the cow. Then there is a Gid Nasher that actually goes in the middle of the tie. And then there is a Gid Chitzon, and there's actually Gid Nasher goes right by the what's his name? By the leg, which is down a little bit further. So there's few types of Gid Nasher. The Rabbi says here. And all of this is going to be discussed. So did you know is Nikur? That's the word you want to know. That you said that in Morocco they don't know Nikur. It's a surprise because it's Faradim, right? Faradim, they know how to do Nikur very well.
No, I don't know. I didn't say they don't know.
No.
I said there is no more people who are able to do it.
Yeah.
The community in Morocco is only 1,500 people.
That's it. 1,500 people. Shamot or families?
Shemot.
Wow.
1,500. So
How many mishpachot?
I don't know.
Wow, but I know my friend, the one that I'm saying, Yaakov Israel Daniel, he travels to Morocco. Like every year they summon him, and he does shchita over there. Yeah, he knows how to do Nikur. He's a big tzaddik.
I didn't say they don't know. They just say now people
Left.
just things they don't know.
Okay, Mizat Hashem.
Before it was.
This mitzvah is always, constantly, everywhere there is a charim in the kibbutz. It doesn't matter, man or woman, they're not allowed to eat. Now, somebody went ahead and ate gid. What's gid? Gid, we said it's a vein. This vein, it's very thin. So he says, if it's a full gid, like in the sections that we described to you, if it's a whole gid, even if it doesn't have kazayit, it gets lashes. Usually the halacha is if you eat trefa or eat something not kasher, you have to eat kazayit. Okay? The rabbi says over here, no. There is two aspects of the gid. There is gid, some of them have like this big piece, but it's less than kazayit. It weighs less than kazayit, but it's the shalem. If a person ate shalem, even if it's less than kazayit, there in the cases that he is going to be chayav malkut right away. It doesn't matter. Or shachal kazayit megid anasher hagadol. Now there is other gid anasher which is great, big, thick one. So thick one is maybe a little piece because I have more kazayit. Over there he has to eat kazayit. So if he ate less than the kazayit, he will not get lashes. If he eats more than kazayit and the big gadol and the gid anasher hagadol, then he gets lokeh, he gets lashes. Okay, so now parashiyot neshnam sefer okay v'yeh Yaakov. And Bahem Mitzvot. So now the whole, no more. Sefer Bereshit, we just completed all the mitzvot in Sefer Bereshit. We just started, we already finished. We didn't even start Sefer Bereshit, we already finished. All right, so now, very important. This mitzvah number 4, mitzvah Kiddush HaChodesh. Kiddush HaChodesh, there's a whole discussion, according to Rashi, brings down his father, Rabbeinu Yitzchak, that this was Ra'ui to start the whole Torah with. The whole Torah should have started with this mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh, and as we know that the Jewish nation as a whole, as general, was commanded this for the first mitzvah. Mitzvah Kiddush HaChodesh, as it says, HaChodesh hazeh lachem, Rosh Chodeshim Rishon hu lachem, lechodshei HaShana. It says over there in Shemot, chapter 12. Right, chapter 12 already in Shemot. We're so far already from the beginning. Pasuk Bet, over there it says this words, Lekadesh chodashim le'olaber shanim v'beit din gadol v'chokmah samuch le'ba'aretz. So we have a concept of sanctifying a month, ulaber shanim, and to complete a whole year. That aber means ibur chodesh, like this year. And this shana is all ibur chodesh. We have 13 months, right? It's like in Adar. Gadol, so the Din Gadol has to establish it. It's only Samuch Baaretz. V'likboa mo'ayit hashana al pi oto kiddush, and to what's his name, to establish the whole year's month according to that establishment of the sanctification of the Beit Hamikdash. Shene'emar, as it says over there, Lomar shetiru chiddusha shel livana. You should see the new starting of a month. Tikbeu lachem rosh chodesh. You have to establish for yourself a new beginning of the month. Even though today we already have that, we don't have the Beit Din, we don't have Torah, so we have it's already established for us when the new month is going to be. That's when we declare it. Okay. וכן תכלול מצווה זו מצוות עיבור השנה לפי שיסוד מצווה קידוש החודש כדי שיעשו ישראל מועדי השם במועדם. So what's the whole purpose of this mitzvah? The Rabbi says here that the whole purpose of this mitzvah is to establish holidays the whole year, as we have not just holidays. It means muadim. Muadim doesn't mean holiday. Muad means certain times, certain periods for, let's say, when you're gonna have even Tisha B'Av, you're gonna have. So all the periods throughout the whole year that we have, they're all established through this month, from the beginning of Nisan. כמו כן, מצווה העיבור השנה מזה היסוד היא. ואולם, מלבד זה המקרא, באו הערות בכתובי התורה, יורו על מצוות העיבור, והוא מה שכתוב. We also come to point out additional aspect of addition or completion of the year, as it says over there, ושמרת את החוקה הזאת למועדה. As it says that we are constantly obligated to sustain it, to fulfill the mitzvot in its schedule, in its time. וכן שמור את החודש האביב. As it says over there, to make sure that the Nisan always falls in the springtime. You can have Nisan like a Ramadan of the Aravim. All of a sudden you see it in September. All of a sudden you see it in December. All of a sudden you see it in June. It's jumping all the time. By them Ramadan.
11 days.
Huh?
Every year it's 11 days less.
Less, yeah, right. So by them it's jumping. By us, it's Baruch Hashem. Every year has to be
Because we have Adar ve'Adar.
right.
Why?
No, that's why they add. They add like
Because we add.
last year, Tafshin Pei Gimel, we only had 51 weeks a year because we made a cheshbon, right? So 51 weeks. But Baruch Hashem, now we're going to catch up. Now we're going to catch up. This year it's going to be actually 20 extra days. So we're going to have 320 extra days. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have like 370 days instead of 350. Usually it's 354, about 353. So now it's gonna be more. So, okay. Anyway, okay. ועניין המצווה כן שבאים שני ישראלים. Okay, now how do you fulfill this mitzvah? The rabbi says the two Jews come and they testify. We saw Ibur HaChodesh. We saw the beginning of the month. שרו לבנה, and so the moon. וקובעים ראש חודש על פיהם שאומרים, and that whatever they testify the Beit Din, now they would establish a new month, as it says, היום מקודש. Today is מקודש, sanctify the day. וטעם שאין מצווה זו אלא בסמוכין, okay, and now the rabbi says, okay, who does this mitzvah? Today we don't have a Beit Din. עד כדי כך, the Rambam even declares we're going to have a problem. It's every cycle of about 500, 600 years, always going to be a problem, even according to the new moon. So how are we going to do it? It's a big problem. You need smuchim. You need people who establish, have a smicha in order to establish the month. Okay, sometimes you could see it's Rosh Chodesh and the moon looks like a third day. I've seen it many times. Many times. You go outside and it's just Rosh Chodesh and the moon is already at least 3 days old. Yeah, big problem. It's a big problem. So how to fix it? Again, it's a big machloket right now. Do we have smuchim or not? We don't have smuchim. According to Rambam, they have to fix it. It has to be fixed one day or the other. לפי שיבה בפירוש החודש הזה לכם גדולים וסמוכים כמותכם כי למשה ואהרון ונאמר. Okay, so it says over there, just like Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron, who were smuchim, they had the smicha, meaning they were obviously from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, they got the smicha, they got approval that they are the Rabbanim, and the smicha is passed down from generation to generation. Only those Rabbanim could make a declaration. Today it's a machloket, is there smicha or not? Rabbutan said the other day that there is families, Moroccan families, there's families from Tzfat that have Kabbalah, that there's smicha. There was a whole machloket do they have smicha or not smicha? That Tzfat, Rabbanim and Tzfat, they did the smicha, re-established it back in the time of the Arizal and Maran. But there are some other Rabbanim in Yerushalayim, they had a fight with them, the whole thing over there. But it's going to be lechora, we're going to have to rely on somebody to re-establish the month. Because Rambam says, even though we have a beautiful calendar and everything else, there is going to be a slight off. Every 500-600 years, we're off by 8 hours. So it could cause a lot of problems. So B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us a brain and strength and not to be afraid of anything. If we have to fix it, we have to fix it. We can't have, like one time we had Pesach Mamash in March. It was Mamash in March. It was freezing outside. We had everything cold and there was no fruits, nothing. And they had Pesach. It's a big problem. The whole concept of this mitzvah, and it's a mitzvah d'oraita, even though today we don't have a Beit Din, we don't have smuchim, but it's somehow we have to bypass this challenge, and again, all Am Yisrael has to join. The rabbi says the whole purpose of this mitzvah is to make sure we're not going to celebrate Chagim not in the right time. Imagine, Has Shalom, we're off for about 2 days. Now it's going to come out, we're eating Chametz on Pesach. Yeah, if we're off by 2 days. let's say, like I told you, I come out on the first day of Rosh Chodesh, Aleph the Rosh Chodesh, and I see it's the third day of the month. If it's a moon on the third day, usually that's how you see it, then that means they're doing Pesach on the 15th, but really it was on 13. So it's going to be a big problem. There's not Hashem, we should bypass this problem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shomer Am Yisrael. We have to be with Mimud. That right now that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is running the show, but it's going to have to be that those families that have the root of tzmicha have to step in and protect Am Yisrael. Today mitzvah, you're going to Hakirah, they do the Chodesh. So then there's a lot of discussion in how to fulfill this mitzvah. Bezrat Hashem, noeged b'chol makom b'chol zman. This mitzvah is constantly everywhere. Shiyu lanu chachamim smuchim b'tnaim shekatavnu, as we already explained that there has to be a smicha ve'over aleha ve'lo asa'ah. Now we're going to have smicha rabbanim, and they don't want to do this Rechut Chodesh. Why? Because they're afraid of what other rabbi is going to say. No, if you have a masorah that use smicha, you must make sure that it's all aligned properly. If he's a befitting person that he is knowledgeable and everybody knows this, he's going to transgress on this avirah, this mitzvah, he's going to say, I don't want to do it, chas v'shalom, because he's afraid of his name. No, he has to go out in there and fight it. And people don't, somebody tells me, Rabbi, why are you always fighting? Why are you always fighting? You're not going to win. The whole world is like this. Talk about Orthodox people. Orthodox. This is a normal thing by them. I say, Habibi, the mitzvah is not to win. The mitzvah is to fight. Abraham Avinu did not know he's going to win anything. Abraham Avinu knew that he has to fight. He has to fight this Avodah Zarah concept that there's other gods. So what? That all the Orthodox rabbis and they're all quiet and they say, listen, that's what it is. That's what it is. No, you have to go out and fight it. No, you don't put anybody down. You don't have to embarrass anybody. But you have to say, Hebre, this is going on here. This is a mistake here. If I know, I'm not a smicha, but there's other, I have smicha, but not that samach like we're talking about. We have to be a big smicha, I know the whole thing. That has to be a masoret from Rebbe to Rebbe, from the Halachah Moshe Sinai. Even though, again, they had this in Tzfat, they reestablished smicha. So what happened in Tzfat was there was a big earthquake. Some say that people, the Rabbanim who did it in Tzfat, caused the earthquake. So they all they all kept quiet under the table. They did not want to fight with Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim was very upset. The Rabbanim in Yerushalayim were very upset with them. Why they did reestablish the smicha? But again, it doesn't matter. You're not here to win all the wars. You're here to establish Hashem's Am Yisrael, to go api derech Torah. Hashem will help us. Hashem, if you need to go to work, you should have a lot of parnasah b'zat Hashem without any headache.